Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Daredevil, Born Again dropped a huge Easter egg in the Season 1 finale, and it almost guarantees the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, having larger plans for a crossover with Spider-Man. Daredevil, Born Again is one of the most exciting entries to appear in the MCU, in large part due to the series adopting much of the story and cast from the Netflix Marvel series, Daredevil, which began streaming on the platform in 2015. When Marvel Studios sought to regain control over all of their TV projects, and the successful and popular Daredevil was canceled, many fans thought that would be the end of Charlie Cox's tenure as the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. However, when Cox was announced to reprise his role, and his first appearance arrived early in Spider-Man: No Way Home, it became clear that he was here to stay in the MCU. Now, with Season 1 having been released, the possibilities and potential for the character are huge, with inspiration from the comics offering numerous possible team-ups, and the catalog of Netflix Marvel shows presenting several more. However, one key detail from the Season 1 finale suggests a familiar web-slinger could be joining forces with Daredevil, building on their initial interaction in No Way Home. In Daredevil, Born Again's finale, there is a key scene where Karen and Daredevil are scouting out Red Hook, but with Matt's recent injury and the volume of security on the site, Karen pleads with Matt to not go in without a plan. Matt relents, and they begin to form a plan. As Matt states, "We need an army." At this moment, the score in the background appears to resemble the Spider-Man theme, hinting at a possible collaboration between the heroes. However, Dario Scardapane, the showrunner for Born Again, claims he was unaware of the Easter egg's appearance at that moment via Entertainment Weekly. It's funny though, because this is part of working in something as large as the MCU. We have our little corner, which is Hell's Kitchen, and it's located downtown near Avengers Tower. We kind of stay in our neighborhood until somebody says, "Hey, this is important in a couple of ways." The fact that this moment was slipped in under the showrunners' noses could hint at something coming from higher-ups at Marvel, and that could indicate larger plans for a crossover. In addition, the significance of it specifically being Spidey's theme song would suggest that these street-level superheroes who have often teamed up in the comics will have a chance to crossover in the MCU if everything can be organized behind the scenes to make their reunion happen. The issue is that Spider-Man is a complicated character for the MCU to handle. Technically, despite being a Marvel superhero, the rights for the character to appear in live-action films belong to Sony. However, with the success of the MCU and the strong desire of fans of the hero to see Spidey appear in the MCU, Sony and Marvel Studios agreed to work together in a limited capacity. These developments led to the trilogy that has already been made in the MCU and Spidey showing up in Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, and Avengers: Endgame. However, TV rights are a whole separate argument, and the outcome could either help or hinder Marvel from getting permission to include Spider-Man in upcoming shows like Daredevil, Born Again Season 2. However, the inclusion of the theme, even in this subtle way, suggests there are plans for some sort of team-up on the horizon. The theme's presence suggests something is in the works, as Marvel is careful about what it includes in shows. Now, if Marvel has actually got Sony on board, or they were hoping for the fan anticipation that a tease like this could build, then there is a possibility of something happening in the near future. Even if it doesn't materialize on the small screen, it remains a possibility. Daredevil, Born Again is obviously a perfect place to insert Spider-Man, especially after the first season built the entire narrative about masked vigilantes parading as heroes. Since nobody knows who Spider-Man is under the mask thanks to Doctor Strange, it seems more likely than ever that he may be viewed as a vigilant. Of course, witnessing Spider-Man and Kingpin engage in a live-action battle would be breathtaking, especially given the characters' intimate relationship in Marvel comics and animated shows. Live action. However, if that proves too challenging, Marvel may be moving toward a team-up on the big screen, with Daredevil joining forces with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Spider-Man. Brand New Day will see Peter struggling to balance life as a masked hero who has no one to share his secret with. He might team up with Murdock, another street-level hero in New York City, and the two form a connection. And if this is the plan, it could explain why the born-again showrunner has no idea why the theme was included. But if Marvel doesn't get something like this to happen soon, it could lose its chance entirely. With plans for Daredevil to release a new season each year and Brand New Day due to come out in 2026, there are a couple of prime moments for these heroes to connect and team up. But when Avengers: Secret Wars ends the multiverse saga, the characters' whereabouts are unknown. Secret Wars could potentially create a soft reboot in the MCU, and it's hard to predict how this would impact the established characters. Marvel needs to work quickly because there is so much uncertainty around the MCU, the future after the multiverse saga, and how much longer actors like Holland and Cox will remain attached to the MCU. Of course, there is a chance for both heroes to meet in Secret Wars, but the setup in Daredevil Born Again season finale hints at something sooner and potentially more intimate in terms of focusing on just a few heroes. Regardless of the plan, the collaboration of Daredevil and Spider-Man would mark a significant milestone for comic book movies and the MCU, so let's hope that Daredevil Born Again doesn't overlook this evolving landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, where the narrative strands are intricately woven into a tapestry of interconnected tales. The possibility of crossovers becomes an exciting topic of speculation. Recently, attention has turned to the comments made by the showrunner of the highly anticipated Daredevil Born Again about Spider-Man. These statements have sparked fervent discussions among fans and industry insiders about the potential cross-pollination of characters, especially regarding Tom Holland's beloved iteration of the web-slinger. To understand why this cross-pollination seems likely, we must first delve into the larger framework of Marvel's storytelling strategy. The MCU has flourished on its ability to create rich, interconnected narratives that draw audiences deeper into its universe. From the Avengers to the new phase of heroes and villains, the allure of crossover events fosters a communal excitement. Incorporating Spider-Man into this tapestry is not just a nostalgic throwback, but a strategic move for Marvel to invigorate storytelling and keep fans engaged. The bigger picture: Marvel's continuity and character arcs. The MCU thrives on continuity, with each film, series, and character arc contributing to a larger narrative structure. Take Daredevil, for example. The show, hailed for its gritty realism and character depth, enters a new era under the Marvel banner that promises to explore more than just street-level heroes. Given the nature of Daredevil's world, New York City, the likelihood of him crossing paths with Spider-Man, who has long been associated with the same urban backdrop, amplifies the anticipation. Comments from the showrunner hint at a willingness to collaborate and blend narratives that offer fresh perspectives on well-known characters. This openness might suggest that Marvel is not merely interested in expanding its character roster, but in enriching the stories already present in its universe. Tom Holland's Spider-Man, who has already established relationships with characters like Iron Man and Mysterio, presents an opportunity to explore deeper stakes in the battle against formidable adversaries. The popularity of Spider-Man, a catalyst for new narratives. Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man has resonated with audiences globally due to his blend of youthful exuberance, wit, and relatability. His films have performed exceptionally at the box office, and each narrative has added layers to his character, including reflections on love, loss, and responsibility. Integrating him into Daredevil, Born Again could provide an excellent platform for exploring themes of partnership and mentorship, as both characters grapple with their personal challenges and moral dilemmas. Moreover, the crossover potential doesn't just benefit Holland's Spider-Man, but enriches Daredevil's narrative as well. They both share a commitment to justice, albeit through different methodologies. As they clash over their differing ideologies, viewers would find thrilling dynamics that combine vigilant justice with the youthful, often clumsy heroism of a teenager. This duality could lead to some of the most engaging character interactions seen in the MCU. Fan enthusiasm and the future of the MCU. The enthusiasm among fans, particularly regarding crossovers, is no small factor. Marvel has consistently listened to its audience, adjusting plots and character arcs based on fan responses. There's an undeniable excitement surrounding the notion of these two iconic characters sharing the screen. We've seen glimpses of this in the animated and comic book realms, but the live-action format offers an entirely new layer of engagement. Furthermore, as Marvel prepares to hone in on multiple universes, establishing multiverse connections could allow for characters from different timelines and realities to interact astrally. Considering the success of films like Spider-Man: No Way Home, which expertly weaved in characters from previous Spider-Man franchises, it's not a stretch to envision a future where different versions of characters collide, creating palate-cleansing nostalgia for older fans while appealing to newer ones. The narrative possibilities, storylines awaiting exploration. If Spider-Man does cross over into Daredevil, Born Again, a plethora of stories could be ripe for exploration. There's the possibility of a storyline where both heroes face a common adversary, perhaps someone like Kingpin, who operates across their shared domain. The stakes would be personal, bringing a human element as they must navigate their dynamic while fighting for the city they love. Moreover, Holland's Spider-Man could delve into the darker corners of superhero narratives, shadowed by the complexity of Daredevil's world. This tonal shift could introduce a fresh angle, one that has been somewhat less explored in Holland's previous outings. Themes of darkness, morality, and corruption could become central to their collaboration. Conclusion: a web of excitement for Marvel fans, given the commentary from the Daredevil, Born Again showrunner, and the rich tradition of cross-pollinating stories in the Marvel Universe. The possibility of Tom Holland's Spider-Man crossing paths with Daredevil is tantalizing, to say the least. The potential blending of narratives could pave the way for groundbreaking storytelling while honoring the legacy of these two iconic characters. Marvel has never shied away from bold choices, and the upcoming phases promise various interconnections that remain integral to its growth. Whether in the form of alliances, rivalries, or moral complexities, the idea of Spider-Man swinging into the dark, rain-soaked alleyways of Hell's Kitchen is both exciting and promising, demonstrating that in the MCU, the web of stories is ever expanding, with many more adventures yet to come. As fans await the unfolding of these narratives, the excitement is palpable. Indeed, Spider-Man's next chapter may very well lie within the heart of Daredevil's gritty realm.